Hi, my name is Ken Arone, the owner of Costini Software. Today we're going to see a video on our inventory file. Now we've assumed that you have seen the navigation video, so we'll move on. When you first open the program, you'll come to this About file, and this is where you're at now. I'm going to click Continue. That takes us to the main menu. So I'm going to click on the inventory file. Now this shows you the inventory list. These are the items that have been inputted. Now you can use ingredients or item or inventory, whichever term you like to use. Now there's no inputting into this layout. It's all done through the item setup. Now in order to create a new layout, we would click New from the toolbar, click Food or Bar. I'll select Food, and then you have your blank layout for you to start inputting. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to select an item that's already in. So I'm going to hit the Find, the magnifying glass, and then I'm going to type in onion. And I'm going to select Jumbo. I can click on Item Setup, or you can use the ID number. So when you start inputting, you would take the information from your invoice, and the second most important thing, you have to give it a location. Now I'm going to choose the walk-in refrigerator. And how I got these locations was under the history. We have 4 menu buttons. I'm going to click on Location. These are sub-locations, or default locations, I mean, and we use those if we input your items. Otherwise, you can go ahead and have your own. But I do suggest you stay with these for a while until you feel comfortable. Okay, now we're going to set up the inventory. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to set up tags. Let me explain what a tag is. I'm going to go to the recipe file. Here's an ingredients for Texas and chili. Units is another name for tag. Now there's only 3 tags you can use: by weight, by count, or by measure. We're going to go back to the inventory file. Now we're going to start on the pack description. Now again, these are color-coded to help you in the manual or when we're doing online training. So this onions comes in a 50-pound bag. So this would be 150 pound. The reason why we have another field and one, this could be 4 1-gallons. So if it doesn't have any other numbers, then the 1 would always go here. The pack type comes from the pop-ups. The pound is a calculated one. This tells you that this tag is a weight. And the pack price is by bag. But in some items like meat, cheese, and seafood, you use catch weight. So this is where it would be by the pound. So now we can use onions as a tag in the recipe by weight. But what happens if they call for 1 onion? Then we go to the yellow section and you'll see 50. How we got that was we went to Yield Info. We did a find and we typed in onions. And we go down to jumbos and approximately 1 pound weight. We click on return and we have 50 because there's a 50-pound bag and it weighs 16 ounces. Now sometimes this will be automatic, but anytime you do put the weight, it has to be in ounces. So now we can use by weight or by count. So what if we want it by measure? Then we have to go over to the refuge or waste and density section. And we go there by Find Nutrition. We click on Raw Onions, and this will give you the, the waste or the refuge. So now we can use it by weight, by count, or by measure. The next section is the green section, recipe name. This allows you to put the recipe name in the way you'd like to see it. If there's nothing in here, then it'll show up as a recipe ingredient as onion yellow #1 jumbo. The specs, you put your specifications, your brand name, or even the meat buyer's guide number. Everything has to have a main category. In this particular case is fresh, and where we get these from is units and categories. So we click on units and categories, and that'll give you your list of your main categories. Oh, and those main categories can be modified. However, I do suggest you stay with the default ones for a while. The next is a subcategory, which is right under the main category, which you have a pop-up. It'll always show your last supplier, and this is your supplier name. This comes from a pop-up, but once again, it comes from your supplier list. And now, let me go back to the onions. Fine, onions. So make sure that you have a product number in there, especially if you want to upload your current product list so that it'll change your prices for you. Then you're allowed to have, you can have a par. It'll show your last beginning inventory, tell you how many times the recipe is in use in the menu item or recipe. You can define whether you want it current or not. Key items, if you want to have a list of key items that you want to check the prices immediately. And this tells you whether it's a liquor or food item. And order sheets tells you if you want it, you put it on the manual order sheet. The purple shows you, the purple is where you want to tell the computer how you want to inventory your item. This is what goes on the worksheet. For example, this could be by pound, or you could inventory by bag. Now, unit cost unit doesn't affect anything. It's just a calculator. So if I want to know the price of, say, a cup of onions, I would go here and I see that it's 18 cents. This also tells you your as purchase and edible purchase price. So if I were to put pound, and another thing, instead of scrolling down on these, you can just click, say, Q, or letters that are past that, so that you wouldn't have to scroll down. And I'm going to click pound. The same thing here. I'm going to click Q, then I'll click pound. The as purchase weight is 46 cents a pound. The unit cost with the waste, the edible purchase, is 51 cents a pound. Now this next one is what we call a center of the plate cost. Let's say the ingredient was a sirloin butt, and you wanted to know what the cost was. Well, you would put in 8 ounces, and it would give you and you would put in your selling price and what you're selling it for, and it'll give you your percent. Now this can be used with the refuge. If you don't want to do refuge and want to do it in your recipes, then you can. Or you can do the same thing if this was a porterhouse steak. You'd put 1 each, your selling price, and so on. That's it. Okay, we finish up setting up the inventory. We're now going to discuss the other 5 tabs. Before we do that, I'm going to show you, I'll also show you a few ways of editing and upgrading your pack price. The first tab is Invoice Received. Now this allows you to do 3 things. You can receive invoices manually. Let's say that the driver or supplier creates them at his truck when he orders. Or you can use the order items. This is the program inside Costini that allows you to order. Then when you click this up, it brings up your order, and then you'll match it against the invoice and make any changes. Or you can input prices from your supplier. This is the one where it comes in a CSV format, and you upload it, and it'll update all the prices. The next tab is ending inventory. This allows you to put an ending inventory into the program and get an inventory value report. Now how this is done is you go to History Report, then you'll select Ending Invoice, then you'll click Create and View. You can put what period number, anything you want here. And you can select Separate or Continue. I like to select them separate. That makes the storerooms, each individual storerooms, and I can give the chef to take his part of it. Now the key to this is the ending inventory. This is where you'll submit your ending inventory. And the key to this are the sublocation numbers. By putting sublocation numbers, it'll be in numerical order and allow you to walk around your storeroom in the same order that this is inventory worksheets are. Then after you're done with that, you'll return that and take it to ending inventory, and then we'll just go ahead and input your ending inventory, submit it, and it gives you a inventory value report. Now the next one is commissary breakage. Commissary allows you to commissary food out, and it'll create an invoice for you. The liquor part, breakage, allows you to take the empty bottles each day, put them in, it'll give you a cost, you'll put the sales in, and it'll give you a theoretical food cost. The next one is Fine Nutrition, which we've talked about, and then the other one is History Report that has these 3 reports plus all the other ones here. Before I finish, I want to go over the toolbar. You have toolbar that has dual purposes. This is new. This shows your current items. This allows you to import. This allows you to find. If you're looking at a list and you want to delete, you want to omit, it won't delete it, it'll just omit it. You can delete, replace and relookup will cover in the manual, and print. Now the duplicate will duplicate, show all shows all, export will show you in the manual. You can modify your find. You can show what you omitted. Recover will be covered in the manual. Relookup will be covered in the manual. And anytime you'll exit from here.